Welcome to Bottom Line Sports Talk. I'm George Abraham. You guys know Albert Cammett. Albert, we're going to have our draft special. We do this once a year because, let's face it, the lifeblood of the NFL. There are free agents. Every team's got it. But the draft, you're going to make your bones or you're going to pay down the road for your mistakes.
Yeah, we make our bones on this thing, by the way. And George watches every game. And that's the sport that I study the most because I like it the most. And I would say that of all the things we predict, this is the one we're better than everybody. We make mistakes too. We made a mistake in I think it was 2017 with Nathan Peterman. I thought he'd be a really good player. He ended up not being good. But we hit on most of them.
Boy, oh boy.
And we don't ever say, like Kuiper and the crew on TV, that everybody's good. We're going to try to tell you who's good and pick out one or two guys. We don't try to say all 20 of these guys are good.
No, because they're not.
And we've done it. And we've done it so successfully because we have zeroed in.
The proof of their futility is Tom Brady. There's no other thing that needs to happen, but for him to go seventh tells you that they're rolling dice.
Yeah.
They're rolling dice. That's it.
New England rolled the dice too, and they think they thought sixth round Tom Brady. As
Albert,
I said,
if he knew he was any good,
in the first round.
Like we do another show with the guy, and he's always talking about New England. Last 3 years, they've been nothing but miserable. Their drafts are lousy. Their team is mediocre at best. Yeah, like last year, they lost to Miami twice, and the coach got fired at Miami.
Yeah. Tampa happens to be a little better now that Brady got there.
I'd say so.
A little better.
And when he goes to the Dolphins next year, they'll be a little better. How's that? Let's talk about our success back in the day,
it's really
and then
important.
we'll go.
And it's really important we cover these to know that these are based on facts. Last year, we sat in this same chair and said the guy that they're messing out on is Creed Humphrey. He's the best offensive lineman in football. Goes Kansas City second round. Ends up being the best offensive lineman of the pro.
And when you make the Pro Bowl, see, it's that good old boys network like Pouncey 3 years too long. When you make it as a rookie, what's that tell you?
Yeah, that means he's sensational.
Yes,
that's what it means.
Exactly.
The second one, remember I told you, George and I have our own channels. We saw this guy play in high school, and in 2020, when Swifty was at Georgia, all of a sudden they say he's too hurt and he can't play. And he lasts into the second round. George and I laughed and said, boy, is Detroit getting somebody special. And last year he had all-purpose yards in the top 5.
He alternated to Georgia. And it looks like Detroit's got a plan here. I'll tell you what, if they grab Deebo Samuels off the free agent wire or whatever, look out in a hurry.
They have to land a quarterback. If they happen to land a quarterback, look out.
Can they win with Goff?
No. That's
not
the
at all.
That's the problem.
Then they're going to grab one, or they're going to grab
because last year, if they had a quarterback last year, they win 5 more games. They were in many games. Detroit was in many games.
No, you can say what you want. They battled Pittsburgh. They battled teams.
Yeah, they tied Pittsburgh.
Then they murdered Arizona. Remember late in the year?
Yeah, they played better. But
let's say this: they didn't quit.
No, I know Caldwell had him playing the whole. Campbell had him playing the whole year.
Absolutely.
But Swift was our guy in 2020.
Yeah.
We hit on that one. And then 2019, what Georgia's specialty is the Mac. What do you call that week?
It's Maction, buddy. I have no life, so I'm either watching that or Young Sheldon. So what ends up happening, I see all the Maction. And I get, come Thanksgiving weekend, when they start playing Wednesday afternoon, I'm dangerous because I'm ready.
Yeah, George knows the Mac.
I know the Mac.
And so he'll call me and say, listen, he said, I saw this guy at Toledo named Deontay Johnson. He's tremendous. Yeah. And I looked in the first 2 rounds, he doesn't go. And then all of a sudden, the third round, the Sneeders take him. Pro Bowl again this year. Tremendous athlete.
Now he wants, the problem now is he wants the 8 figures.
Yeah, he wants money. But there was another one we hit on.
There's one, you nailed this one. I thought he was good.
This was my best pick of all time.
Yeah.
I said by far the best quarterback coming out of this class in 2018 is Josh Allen. People made fun of me on the internet, on Twitter, and I said, listen, when you can star at Wyoming, you can star. Because Alabama, they're throwing the ball to Waddle. He's throwing the ball to 6'2" white guys at Wyoming.
And it's cold. And he's playing minus 12.
And that ball's going through the wind like, and then he takes off and runs 80 yards for a touchdown.
Absolutely.
And I'm thinking, what don't you like about him? Now everybody's raving about Josh Allen. Well, we call him the best quarterback by the quarterback coming into the league in years. And he was, and he is. That's our big hit.
Going to be.
That's our big hit, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
2017, as I said, we missed on Nathan Peterman. Yeah. I thought he'd be a really good quarterback.
You know what? No, don't get me. I'm not making excuses. We missed, but they said that week that they threw him in.
He threw 4 interceptions. Yeah.
But if I'm looking at my schedule, I'm going to break a quarterback in. I'm not breaking him in at San Diego with that Bosa coming after him and the other. No, that was the week. It was almost like the coach wanted to let the general manager know he was a bad pick.
Gotcha.
If I didn't know better, which you don't know,
right?
You hope.
But we missed it. But we didn't miss on the other guy in that draft.
No.
We would watch Tennessee and SEC, and they had Hurd and Kamara alternating. And George would say, "Why are they playing Hurd? Why don't they just play Kamara every down?" And then the draft comes along, and wait a minute, he's going in the 3rd round, and George and I said, listen, somebody is getting the steal of all steals. He's lightning. He's lightning fast, and he can break tackles. He catch the ball.
Yeah, when he's on FanDuel, I just look at whatever it is, and I go over. Because he's going to make one play where he's going to go 38 yards, and he's going to get it.
That was a big hit for us, George, in 2017. 2016, we had hits both ways. But they were raving about Paxton Lynch going in the 1st round.
I saw him against the Power 5. I remember.
Oh, yeah,
and I called Al. I said, Al,
he can't play.
He can't play.
No, we knew he couldn't play.
No.
I don't care what they looked at.
You know where else we knew? We're going to take credit for this one. The backup at Green Bay. We know he can't play quarterback.
Oh, yes. The guy from Utah State.
Utah State. He throws the ball. There's a disease in football. It's called throwing the ball to the other teamitis. And if you have it,
you never lose it.
You never lose it. And the dude at Carolina, I know he's the richest guy in the league, the owner. He better get a quarterback.
Yeah. So Paxton Lynch.
Oh, by the way, Darnold the other day said he's already proven himself.
Yeah, he's proven he throws the ball the other
team. He throws the ball the other team.
But Paxton Lynch, we said, can't make it.
No.
People still draft him in the 1st round.
Yeah.
And then they're sitting there in the 4th round was the guy that we said was the best quarterback in the draft that year. Dak Prescott. He has proved it over and over. Yeah. Outstanding quarterback. Just got the big chunk of change from Dallas.
Yeah.
They wanted him to be a 1st-round pick. He was always a 1st-round pick. But they have him thinking that if he doesn't throw for 9,000 yards like the guy in Kansas City. But Dak Prescott was the best quarterback in that draft.
Mississippi State, not a everyday brand, still SEC, but not. Yeah. If he were at Alabama or Georgia,
he was a 1st rounder. For us at least.
Yeah,
we loved that. We loved that.
They'd had to pay that man.
Yeah. 2015, we were shouting please don't take any quarterback. I don't care what you think. They were saying we got to take a quarterback in the 1st round. We got to take. And we were saying, what are you looking at with Winston and Mariota that think they're 1st rounders? No, they were not. They're not 1st rounders. And they proved it.
For definite.
They approved it.
Winston, and he had character issues. And
I didn't say he wasn't decent. No, but I'm not the number 1 pick in the draft.
Round.
No, not just 1st round. Yeah. The 1st pick in the draft.
No, and we said it about Baker Mayfield.
There's no question.
We knew he was
good.
Well,
that was Josh Allen. That's
but
why
he
it was
wasn't.
Easy. Josh Allen was way better than him. There's no. We said that.
But I mean.
But you can't just go, and they're doing it this year.
Yeah.
They're gonna force a first round quarterback, first pick quarterback.
Here's what's gonna happen. Detroit's gonna mess this thing up.
Taking Willis the 2nd pick.
And then what's gonna happen? Everybody, they're your quarterback.
And we're gonna talk later in the show who the quarterback that I really love. So, and it's not Willis. In 2014, we got 2 more years. We're gonna go back. We always knew he was talented, but we also knew that he took plays off, and he did not play every down.
Lazy.
And he was just playing out lazy. He doesn't love the game. And if you're going to play professional football, and we're talking about Javini and Cloudy.
There's a lookalike him this year.
Oh, yes. The kid from Oregon. Thibodeau. No, we'll never take Thibodeau. He's the same thing as Cloudy. He's going to have 1 game in the pros. He's going to have 6 sacks. Mm-hmm. And then the other 14 games, he'll do nothing.
Seems like he's very, very concerned with his brand.
Yeah, and
before he plays the game.
Clowney sits out 3 games a year. He's not playing 3 times.
Yeah. Hey, we have a buddy who's an NFL agent. No names, but we'll tell you this. This one guy played locally, no Senior Bowl, no combine, comes in and says, how are you going to build my brand? No. And my buddy says, brand? Says, you have to make the team first. There's no brand if you weren't in the All-Star games.
Exactly.
You weren't in the combine.
They live dreams.
Your brand?
Dream world. Well, that same year Cloudy went.
Yeah.
George once again on the Mac would call him on Wednesday night.
I saw the game.
And George said, listen.
No one watched that game.
There's a guy from Buffalo that is unbelievable.
He murdered Ohio State. And Ohio State won the game. We had to take 21 tackles. I called Al. I said, see this Mac dude for Buffalo. I said, if they don't know how he got there, I have no idea.
Yeah, so Khalil Mack, they didn't miss on him, but he was better than Clowney.
Oh.
That's all we're saying.
Yes.
And he ended up going to the first round, but he was a better player than Clowney. And lastly, the one we really like that has not turned out to be the star of stars, but has been is a crane man every day, shows up and
Star Lutalele?
yes, from Utah.
He's a star. Tell him about the
Utah.
game we were watching with Southern
They
Cal.
started out with one guy.
And they tried two.
And they tried
Then they just put three on.
They
Southern
couldn't block
Cal,
him.
not
So he ended up being a first-round pick of Carolina.
Yeah.
Ends up, and now he's playing for Buffalo. But I'm talking, he's a guy that we really loved at that time. And now we go to this year's draft. We're going to tell you who we love now. There's some guys out there that they're raving about that we don't think anything about. And our player is Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. Whoever gets him is getting an All-Pro for the next 20 years. He's the best offensive lineman in the draft. It isn't Neal. And you go right down the line. At Iowa, he dominated. He put pancakes.
handles blitzes.
Doesn't miss a blitz pickup. And he's such an athlete. He pulls. In today's game, you need a guy that can really play. I'm hoping Pittsburgh takes him.
Oh.
I'm hoping. And they're talking about getting a quarterback. I'm hoping Pittsburgh because he'll be there. See, it's not like he's not rated in the top 8 or 10. No. We're telling you right now.
Let me tell you a story on him. First of all, they asked him to sit out the bowl.
Praise the
He
Lord.
said, sit out the bowl.
I never said anything.
First of all, these are my guys.
Yes.
Secondly, I'm a player. Secondly,
Exactly.
here's what happened. He gets hurt in that bowl game late. And I'm trying to hang on with Iowa. And the minute he gets hurt, they just start pulling through like they're blitzing 8 guys. He comes back in, hobbles back in, and settled them down.
Takes
That's
control
how
of the game.
good he is. One guy can make a difference. You know, people talk about the line, you say, the Bengals added 3 guys. Don't think that doesn't make a difference.
Makes everything different.
I mean, you put that center will make a difference.
Yeah, no question about it. And he's a game changer, just like Creed was last year. Linderman's better than him, so you know where he's going to go.
Will he be there at 20 for Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Then they don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
Then they don't know.
No, but they don't. No one has a rate as high as we do. I'm just saying that's how good he is. And then I love Kyle Hamilton from Notre Dame. He will go in the top 8, but he will be the best player of the top 8.
Well, they call them hybrids.
Yes.
Hey, real quick story on Hamilton. This guy, one of these many websites, that he had a freak list. And he had the Alabama lineman
Neal.
1 and Hamilton 2. That's enough for me because in my mind, they're all freaks.
Yeah, they
I
are.
watch them run the 40. I watch them jump up on, a box 4 feet high. And this guy stands out against them. Now, what's that tell you?
Yeah, 6'4", 220, who plays like a linebacker and plays like a safety, both. That's who you're looking for. In the game of the NFL, the third guy, this is not a surprise. He got hurt, so he's got backed up, but he's by far the best receiver in the draft, and that's Jameson Williams. Left Ohio State, went to Alabama. Georgia couldn't cover him, that's all you know. Tore his ACL in that game, George. But in today's world, with the medicine they have, he'll be back to play. And a lot of times you come back stronger. I know it's hard to believe.
I saw Verlander pitch the other night after
hurt?
Tommy John. The batters were wishing he was hurt.
Yes.
It's modern medicine,
It is.
technology. Let's talk a little bit about that. That national championship game.
They win.
I'm
He
not
plays.
taking anything from Georgia.
No, I believe- I had
but I
Georgia,
think
but-
with him in that field,
Alabama wins that game. They couldn't stop him.
no one stopped.
He blows the top off, which is so big in the pros, and that's why every team's looking for speed. Oh, he's the fastest guy in the draft. No question that Jameson Williams is the best receiver in the draft. You want a pass rusher under the radar? Gets Karlaftis from Purdue. Pass rush. The game turns around with a pass rush. He's so lightning fast off the outside, coming from Purdue. He's going to last also. Behind Hutchinson, he's the second best pass rusher.
Well, let's talk a little bit
the
about
draft.
that position because, as I said, we have a buddy who's an agent. Man, where do they want? They want to get a pass rusher, a speed edge rusher. They call them edge rushers. Right. We had a friend that used to laugh. He'd call me. He goes, "Hey, they're setting the edge," making fun of all these new terms. But the bottom line is, because it's a passing game,
Right.
rushing the passer
Is everything.
is more important than it ever was. 20 years ago, okay, they're going to run 2 out of 3. No more.
They throw 3 out of 3.
They don't run anymore.
No,
they spread you out.
Only to keep the lead. Only to keep the lead that they do that.
What do they call it? 5-minute offense.
Yeah. Yes. And now we got to hit on George's leg again. And
Yes.
George said, man, how did Western Michigan lose so many games?
no.
They're so high-powered
Oh, they
offensively.
scored 40.
And Kai Moore is the guy. He reminded us of Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Who was at Central Michigan.
Yes. Yes.
A guy that can run it after he catches it, go for a touchdown and instantly. Look for him. When you see his name called, remember our show. Kai Moore from Western Michigan. And they're all talking about all these linemen. I don't care about guys who stop the run in pros. You think Darnold's thinking about stopping the run?
Not even once. Hey, first, let's get back to Moore for a minute, because he put, it's the one thing people, he's playing the MAC. How do you do against Pitt? They put 50 on Pitt. Pitt lost 2 games. One of them was Western Michigan,
They couldn't cover
and it didn't look fluky to me.
Yeah, they couldn't cover him, that's why.
And the other one, they never beat Miami.
Yeah. And then we're talking about Winfrey from Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying he's not great against the run. I don't care who's great against the run. He flies up the field and causes havoc, and that's the kind of guy I want. When you're watching football, the game has changed to a passing league. You want guys that can rush it, you want guys that can cover it, and you want guys that can throw it.
And then on the other side, you want backs that can catch.
Yes.
Like in the old days.
That's why Swifty was so good.
They didn't care if the running back.
No.
Now that Le'Veon Bell prototype
Yes.
is like Kamara. You can look, he might get 60 yards rushing, 45 yards receiving.
No, every game.
What's 105 yards? I don't care how he got it. What's the difference if you hand it to him or you throw it to
Yeah,
him?
you have to have that. And we continue our framework with wide receiver from Arkansas, Traylon Burks. All you have to do is put the film on him and know that he's different. His athleticism, his vertical jump, everything he does is sensational. Pass rusher deluxe also coming is Sam Williams from Mississippi. Not even talked about. Well, somebody's getting somebody can rush the passer.
Okay.
Put Sam Williams down from Mississippi. Gets that corner turned. Notice we've hit the pass rush big on who we put in our draft.
Let's talk about these two, because generally SEC, we think Alabama, we think Georgia,
Right.
even Auburn, even Texas A&M. But Arkansas, they got that old timer down there coaching. He came in, he was a line coach. I remember when he went in and I thought, I see him on Feinbaum and I'm thinking, Sam, I don't know. Sam Pittman. I said, Sam, you might be a little old. We know today,
Right.
today's guys, we wouldn't relate. And then, daggone it, they love him like an old uncle.
He's won some
And
games.
they're playing some ball. And I'll tell you what, I saw one coming New Year's when they played Penn State. I know I was on the right side that day. That was
the
a
reason
beat.
is they had Burks. That's why they had
Yes.
a player that Penn State couldn't cover.
No.
And that's what you get players like that, and you get guys rushing the pass like Williams.
And then Ole Miss,
that
no,
makes
you
it
don't
better.
think. What do you think Ole Miss right away?
Offense, right.
Offense, Lane Kiffin throwing the
Yep.
ball, this thing, that. The bottom line is you have to play some defense.
Yes.
We get so upset because, someone will talk about it, and we realize, yes, the game has changed. We know the game has changed. They spread you out to run. As you say, they run the last 5 minutes to run the clock out. But the teams that win, they're tossing that ball. What does the Leach has the best line? They said, man, coach, so-and-so's offense is 50-50, so he's not a very good coach. They said, what do you mean, the Pirate? The Pirate
Right.
will say it. They said, what do you mean he's not? He said, passing game's too easy.
Yeah, the rules changed it for passing. Yeah, the rules have changed.
Let's think about it. You spread them out.
Yep.
You can't touch them. And the lineman can pretty much bear hug them if they keep their hands
Oh, yeah.
inside
That's
their
why they play.
armpits.
They keep the hands in.
Yeah.
It works.
I mean, when you think about it, you're a fool to not pass the ball.
Yeah, and that's why we got another guy who's going to receive the ball. Is Alex Pierce.
Yeah.
You watch him play
I
for
saw
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati.
They're going to throw the ball up in the air. He's big. He's fast. Interesting that when you look at him at 6'3", 208, you don't realize the speed he has because he catches the deep ball. Somebody's going to get a deep ball threat. He fits the bill of a New England receiver. Most of the time they're the one team you see with a lot of white guys on playing receiver, but he can run. He's not a possession receiver. He goes all out and
Well,
can
13
jump.
deep receptions.
Yeah, he catches the deep ball.
Now, what's that take?
Yep.
See,
He outruns you and he outjumps you.
and he had Ritter at quarter, he'll throw it up.
Yep, he
See,
knew.
that's we've talked about this, like high school especially. You get a stud out there, throw it up.
That's what they do. Pros do it all the time.
Yeah.
Pros
Because,
are born
I remember Archie Manning was on, and he was talking about Peyton's first year, he threw like 9 bazillion interceptions. And he says to his dad, Dad, no one's open. He said, Peyton, they're open, but you got like this much room.
Yeah.
This is not college football.
No. Yeah. That's why you need those great receivers.
Absolutely.
That will go up
and a
get the
quarterback
ball.
with some mustard or whatever they call it.
Yeah, no question about it. And my favorite player in the draft, I saved it for right now. They're talking about all the quarterbacks. I think he's head and shoulders. And one of the things I've been right on is quarterbacks, and that's Matt Corral from Mississippi. When he plays, he's a game changer deluxe. He'll run for a first down. He'll throw deep for a touchdown, and then he has the gun of all guns in college football. We watched Mississippi play. They put points on everybody until he went out. And when he goes out, their offense didn't look as good. When he was playing, it was unstoppable offense.
And let's talk about him a little bit.
Corral.
That's a good pick. I'm going to tell you what, he got hurt in a bowl game. It was a sprained ankle. So it's not like a knee or.
Right. Yeah, he's back 100%.
He's fine.
Yeah.
And give him credit for, once again, you're old school. He tried to play in that game.
Yes.
And I watched that game. If he's in there against Baylor,
Yes. Yeah.
forget it.
Yeah, they don't have the same team when he was out of the
Now,
game.
who does he remind you of? Like, you like the quick release, which is crucial.
He has that
Does it
too.
remind you of anybody?
Yeah, he's Michael Vick, but who's much more active.
Oh.
Yeah, same kind of player. Same kind of player who run it for a touchdown, throw it for a touchdown, make big plays. Yeah.
And they don't want him running now.
Yeah.
In the pros, they want him escaping, but not running.
In the old days, it was like that. Not anymore. They run quarterback plays for everybody. No, it's not like that, George. They want him getting down.
Yeah,
That's what they want.
Okay.
They don't mind him running.
No, I get it.
You got to get down, or you don't want to take the hit.
Like Russell Wilson.
Yes.
Like Russell Wilson. He's
the master.
Yeah, he's probably as good at like wanting to take his head off, and he steps out.
He knows what he's doing.
He's got
That's why he's lasted so long.
No, absolutely.
And that's why the kid from Baltimore last year, Jackson, got hurt, and he still didn't realize they're coming to get him.
I remember
I've been saying on the show
we've
forever.
been saying that we don't know how he's still
such a
in
great
there.
quarterback.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't learn to get down, he's going to be knocked out of the league.
No,
and that's what
can't.
Corral's got to learn right away.
You can't lower that shoulder.
He's got to learn that right away.
Because the guy learned the hard way, RG3.
Yes.
He decided he was going to take these guys on. I remember that hit
helmet
that
hits,
day.
yeah.
And I said to myself, we will never see this guy again.
Nonsense.
But I'm interested in Corral because, I hear about Pickett.
Right down the line. They got 6
I hear
better
about
than him.
Willis. I hear about these other guys, and I'm thinking, this guy's a gem.
Well, for me, he is.
Well, who did he play against?
The best competition in the country. And put up numbers against all of them.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no question about that. And
No, I
lastly, the
agree.
running back we like is from BYU. If you watch BYU play, game changer. He's not even thought up in the top 15 running backs.
Boy, oh boy.
And Tyler Algiere from BYU breaks tackles, gets 5 yards on every extra after he makes contact. He's the guy I want in the pros. He's a between the tackles runner. You're not going for touchdowns in the pros very seldom.
No,
they're
no 80-yard
gonna catch
runs.
You. No, they're going to catch you anyway. So,
No 80-yard
so you want guys
runs.
that can get those 10, 12-yard runs and make big plays out of make 4-yard runs into 10-yard runs.
Absolutely. Let's
that's
talk
him.
about him because I put BYU on a lot in those late games. And I remember I'd say this quarterback's pretty good. I said, but the runner's out.
Yes,
I
awesome.
didn't. And I said, if he's not in there, that's how good he was. As good as their team was, there was a noticeable draw. And usually,
when he's
even
out
Ohio
again.
State, they bring the backup in, and you're like, oh, geez, okay, I got,
Right.
what's the guy rushed for 3,000
Yes.
yards? And the guy said, I was watching one day, Ohio State's
Teague.
playing. Teague, Master Teague.
Yes.
I told Al, I said, I'm watching the game, and Ohio State's got the second team in, and 11 yards. 13 yards. And LSU does this too. They always have a stable.
Always.
14 yards. And Fitzgerald's over there on that other sideline looking. And I know the wheels are turning, and he's thinking, we'll never beat these guys.
They'll
Because
never
he
beat
can't
them.
use the portal.
No.
Right?
Yeah, Northwestern not using
Northwestern, how about Stanford, 3 wins?
No chance.
Can they, and we knew Vanderbilt was never any good.
They had one chance when they got some players in when Franklin was there, and now they don't get players. There's no chance. Let's look at our top 10 because we're going to run out of time.
Go ahead. We got about 4 minutes.
Hutchinson's is I consider the best player in the draft, but we don't want to talk about him because everybody knows about Hutchinson. We've already talked about Kyle Hamilton, who's better than the people that are put ahead of him. Jameson Williams.
What was Campbell? A little slow, Hamilton.
Yeah.
4.6.
They're saying he's not fast enough. That's a joke. Jameson Williams, we already talked about him. He's our number 3 guy.
You like him?
No, I don't like him. I love him.
Okay, so he's going early.
Yeah. Linderman is not even in the top 25. He's our 4th rated guy. Whoever gets him is going to be the steal of the draft. We talked about him. I already talked about Corral. He's our 5th guy. He's not in the top 25 guys either. Once again, when you watch our show, we're not naming Neil. We're not naming other guys. That's the way it works. The Walker kid has went up the ladder. He's climbing the ladder. He's our number 6 guy.
The odds are who goes are coming
Him and
down.
Hutchinson. Him or Hudson.
Yeah,
Jacksonville's talking about it right now.
But it went from 350 to 160.
Yeah, they're deciding who are we going to take. Walker.
They're probably arguing in the room. Don't you figure?
Or Hudson. Yeah, no question.
Who would you take?
I would take Hutchinson. He's the number 1 on my list.
Okay.
Yeah, no question about it. He's the best player coming out.
Okay.
Yeah, so I would. There was no doubt about him. Ikweye from NC State is the best tackle in the draft. They have Neal. Nobody pass blocks like him and Cross. Cross is the next guy on the list. They're 2 offensive tackles that are going to dominate because they can pass block.
And talk about that because Mississippi State throws so much.
Every down.
The NFL knows if they get a lineman that played for the Pirate, he can pass block. And don't underestimate that.
Yeah, and when you look at those positions, that is so important. That receiver, cornerback, pass rushers are everything you want. Sauce Gardner from Cincinnati is the best corner in the draft. You watch Cincinnati play. Why did they dominate teams? He took away half the field. So if I was a team looking to win a championship with 1 defensive back, that's who I would take. He's the guy.
Since he threw 2 good ones out there, didn't
yeah, they had a couple. Yes, they did.
That tells you how good the Alabamas and Georgias are, that they can take apart.
But they didn't throw against him. See, that's what's interesting.
Yeah.
They threw the ball. They threw the ball to the other side of the field.
Well,
when Sauce Gardner was out there, they said we're going to throw the ball opposite him. The announcers kept saying he's living out there. He's so upset today because they haven't thrown.
They won't throw the ball his way.
one ball.
I think that's smart.
No, that's what you do when you have a great player. So that's our NFL draft for this year. I'm hoping that you mark down the guys we talked about. The draft is coming up soon. For you people who missed the show, we're going to have it up. We'll have it up.
We'll have it up on podcast form.
And Greg, our producer, does a great job.
Buzzsprout. I got a lot of feedback lately.
And put that out there.
People like it, and I think this draft's interesting because we've gone off the grain a little. We're not with.
We never have.
Which
we've named the players we've talked about in the past.
Yeah.
Very seldom was it the first guy picked.
Yeah.
That we talked about.
Yeah. Who didn't know Peyton Manning was going to be good?
Yeah, exactly.
Right, yeah.
So we could, and that's what they talk about. My headache on draft day is every guy who gets drafted, they're going to say how good he is. Yeah. Not every one of them is good.
No.
You know, we'll call you out on that. We named the ones we thought were great.
Right.
Hopefully you watch. Hope you pass this on to your friends, and have a great week.
And thanks again for watching Bottom Line Sports Stuff. We'll see you next week.